right, everyone, welcome back. Another episode of T&J Sports Podcast. We are shooting episode 14 on this Monday night, right before Cowboys and Giants. Drizzy's in the house. Tstalls is here as well.
Yo, yo, yo.
And so we're going to go over week 3 of NFL season here for what we can. We'll go over Bengals, Broncos. We got a few other notable games to talk about from on Sunday. Little Cowboy Giant, probably a little preview, and look back at fantasy and our picks for week 3. So with that getting started, go ahead. I'll break into Bengals Jets yesterday. Bengals, in what you can say, a must-win game. If you wanted to say that, you could. They did. They took care of business, 27-12. Only allowed 4 field goals on the day. Stymied that Jets offense that scored 13 points in 30 minute 30 last week against the Browns. Burrow, 23-36, 275 yards and 3 touchdowns. They started out hot. They started out passing the ball. Boyd, Higgins, Jamar Chase really didn't become a factor until the second half. The running game is still an issue. They're not getting the ground yards like they were. I don't know if something's wrong with Mixon. I know that O-line's been working together here lately, but all in all, they got the win that they needed. And I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the win. Happy that Joe Burrow only had to take 2 sacks, total 14 yards. I think it was a great step in the right direction. They play Miami on Thursday Night Football. They got the white Bengal uniforms going on. Have you
They
seen
look
those? Those are
so
pretty.
nice. They
They
look so
are.
nice. It's about time they brought that out.
I think they even. I saw a video today. They were painting the B in the middle of the field where it's normally orange. They're throwing that white.
Oh man, that's gonna be
Like
nice.
white and black stripes in the middle of the field. All in all, it's going to be a great game to watch. We'll get more on Miami later. We'll talk about that game. So what do you think about the Bengals? Obviously, the Jets aren't a team that you want to put a measuring stick up against, but their performance this week and getting back on track, what do you think?
It's a step in the right direction. This was an easier step for them to take because it's the Jets. It wasn't a big, high step for them, but it's a step. A win's a win. Kind of like we always say with in college when Louisville, gets their win this past week. Same thing with the Bengals. A win's a win. You're 1-2. It's early in the season. It's good to see Joe Burrow not take as many sacks in this game, and he looked more confident in the pocket, able to deliver some touchdowns in this game, 3 to be exact. Jamar Chase is Jamar Chase. He looks good. It's just, I think you have a great rookie year. A lot of teams know to kind of like focus in on you and kind of shut you down, but he found a way. And I tell you who should be his go-to guy, who's been his kind of go-to guy, his blanket this year, is Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd's been a consistent player for you all, for the Bengals for this past couple of years he's been there. And I think he needs to keep going to Tyler when he can't get to Chase. And I've seen that Higgins had a touchdown that was taken away because they said it wasn't one, but it looked pretty darn close to me.
I was going to ask you about that one. I mean, I was watching that live, thought it was a touchdown. Obviously, that angle, like maybe his heel came down.
Yeah.
But on that replay, I'm looking at, I mean, his toes tap, and then he's stepping out of bounds. I mean, I don't know again, another week in the NFL, we don't know what the hell a catch is in the NFL. I mean, like that to me.
It's going off. It's the whole thing of what you call on the field matters. If they called a touchdown on the field, then they wouldn't have overturned that because it's inconclusive. They couldn't figure out for sure, like you just said, if his heel might have hit as his toes hit. Because in my opinion, if your toes are scraping and then your back comes down, I think it should count. Your toes, then your back foot, touchdown. But whereas if you look at that video angle, the DB's foot's kind of like blocking his heel and out of bounds lines. They couldn't really tell, but I'm right there with you, man. It's from Des Bryant's was it a catch, not a catch to Higgins, to this catch. It's kind of hard to tell what is a catch and what isn't a catch. That was a great play by Higgins to go up and get that, but it's the referees, it's the human element of the game. That's why we love it. It's why we hate it sometimes, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I definitely, you know, I thought that was a touchdown. What you're saying about Tyler Boyd, that dude is a baller. I
Yeah.
mean, that catch pinballs off two guys and just dead sprints away from everyone else for a touchdown. I mean,
Surprised he didn't get a
that
concussion. I thought it was targeting a little bit on that hit to score.
speaking of concussions, well, Tyler, did you see T. Higgins get smacked in the face for a second time 2 weeks in a row? Did you see
I
that
didn't
one
see
yesterday?
it. I didn't
I
see it.
mean, unnecessary roughness, 15-yard penalty. But I mean, one of those defender running right with him, draped over top. He
Mm-hmm.
catches the ball as he's kind of going to the ground, and dude just comes in straight crown of the helmet right into the chin face mask. I mean, that's gonna get like he just came off a concussion last week.
Yeah.
I thought for sure he was not coming back in because he stayed down for a second. Then he popped up, was trying to walk off, which is all do well and fine. But sometimes you'll have to save people from themselves.
Yeah.
But he came back out there, he finished the game, but I for sure thought we were probably going to lose him for the rest of the game or even longer.
Yeah.
Uh, but I
That's
mean,
his second, man. Concussions are a serious part of the game. I get being competitive. I'm competitive, but like you said, there's a time where somebody needs to hold you back and tell you, no, you're not going in this game, man. It's one, he's what, 24, 25, if that old.
yeah, I
And
think he came in with Burrow or the year before Burrow,
mhm.
and then Chase came the year after
It's
Burrow.
like, yeah, you shouldn't play after a big hit like that. I get it. It's kind of a big game because you don't want to go 0-3. You got Joe Burrow deleting social media just so he can prepare for this game. But when that kind of thing happens and you still have, your stud receiver and his go-to guy by right now and Tyler Boyd, I would have just sat him for that game.
Yeah, I mean, between Higgins, Chase, and Boyd, I mean that's a three-headed wide receiver room that rivals pretty much anyone else in the NFL. Um, it's an embarrassment of riches almost in that wide
Mhm.
receiver room. They're all young, they're all ballers. So want to see them healthy for the rest of the season, make another run to the Super Bowl, hopefully. They'll have to go through the Ravens and Lamar Jackson, which
It looks scary.
Lamar is doing in football what Aaron Judge has done in baseball, and that's make him a fuck ton of money
Yeah.
so far.
He's gonna make some money when he gets a contract. And I'm kind of hoping
And
it's not with the Ravens.
I kind of hope so too. More so, Bengals
Yeah.
fandom side, just they knew what they had in him. He's
Hmm.
only been injured what, like once maybe. Last year was like his first season with dealing with an injury or a prolonged injury.
Yeah.
I mean, you knew what you had, you built your team around him, and then you play hardball with some money.
Yeah.
Um, so if he wants to walk and go somewhere else, I'm sure there's plenty of places that will take him.
Kind of rooting for Detroit just because that conference in the NFC is not good. You have Rodgers walking out of the door here soon. So it's in Detroit, the way they're playing this year, like we said last week, that's our sneaker team to make the playoff. And I think if he goes to Detroit, he has some young guys that they can really build around. And if they don't do that well this year, they'll have a draft pick to go with it. But Lamar doesn't have to stay with the Ravens.
No,
He doesn't. He'll be Lamar wherever he goes. And I think a lot of offensive coordinators will be more than happy to take him on their team and build their offense around them.
I definitely agree with you there. So we'll move on to the Sunday night football game this past week.
Hmm.
I'll let you take over. Broncos at home hosting the 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo got the start. Trey Lance out with his broken ankle.
Hmm.
Uh, this game, Man, I'm telling you, this game was a hell of a lot closer than it should have been, which you already know. I
Yeah.
was gonna go over a couple things real quick.
Hmm.
Basically tied in total yards. They got you by six, 261 to 267. Um, they had three turnovers. You had zero penalties and yardage, about the same. But man, is the time of possession at 34 minutes and 29 seconds versus 25 minutes and 31 seconds. I mean, that's
Yeah.
almost a whole quarter
Yeah.
possession there. That is a lot closer than I thought it should have been. 11-10 win for the Broncos. That offense has
Ugly.
not gotten rolling yet.
It was
So take it away.
a little bit more on what I said last week. We give 253 million to Russell Wilson to bring his ridiculousness over here to the Broncos and young core guys and Jerry Judy, Sutton, KJ Hamler, and then you got Javonte Williams, who's a young bull, and we're not even using him. We're not even seeing the moon ball. I heard the announcer say it multiple times last night. Where's the moon ball we're used to seeing Rush throw? We've seen it maybe twice last night. One was because we had an offside penalty and he was just trying to get a big play out of a free 5 yard penalty. And then the other one, I don't even remember what the deep ball was for. I don't even think it was completed, but it just wasn't that good. This offense is looking horrible, but thankfully, like Peyton Manning's year, our offense, his last year here when we won the Super Bowl, our offense wasn't looking great either. Our defense was top three that year. We're top three this year. I know it's early on, but defense wins championships and offense comes along later in the season. So our defense is definitely going to have to carry us into the playoffs this year. And it's going to take more than one touchdown in the fourth quarter to win, to be actual contenders. And right now, I feel like we're knocked off as contenders. We're probably not even the top five in the AFC right now at this point. I wouldn't at least put us in the top five. Um, Kansas City thankfully lost. So with us winning last night, that made us tied first in the West for the AFC. But it's going to be rough. It's going to be a long season if we don't get this together. And we play in conference rival next week in the Raiders. It's at the Raiders, so yeah, the Raiders don't look that great in Derek Carr, but I think they can get a win this week against us because our offense just isn't showing anything. Their offense isn't showing anything. Our defense is great. We're going to need our defense to get more points. Sad to say, we need our defense to score more points than our offense, but our defense got 2 points last night, and that's the reason why we won the game.
Yeah, I mean, you luck. I mean, that is the difference of the game was that safety, and it wasn't even. I mean, it was caused by the defense, but then at the same time,
The
Jimmy
Dan
G just runs out
Orlowski.
the back of the end zone.
Mhm.
So you got to take a win, however it comes, especially in these early season games. We do need to see that offense start rolling a little bit. We
Yeah.
do need to see more shots down the field. I know they're talking about Aaron Rodgers in that offense the first year, first few games was rough.
Hmm.
I mean, Russell's great. I think Aaron's probably better overall than Russell uh, as a quarterback, depending on how you look
At
at it
this
and whatnot.
stage, yeah, at this stage in both their careers, and like I said, Aaron Rodgers walking out the door and Russell Wilson kind of getting there. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, he just, I don't know, man. He knows what to do with the ball. He knows how to set up his offense, and I think Russ kind of in his mind, he thinks he has that offensive game plan going on, and he wants to be that guy to like adjust the line protection here, tell the running back go here. But there's so many times last night where I just seen him. He's looking, and you're telling me none of our stud receivers are getting open. He has to check it down to Javonte Williams to get blown up in the backfield for maybe a yard gain to a 3 yard loss. And then Melvin Gordon, he's trying his hardest to run. I mean, they're giving him more options than they're giving Javonte Williams, but Melvin Gordon is trying his hardest to get more than 2 yards every carry, but our offensive line is just not getting any push. Um, I mean, Tim Patrick was a great receiver for us last year, and maybe his presence is being missed. I know he probably wouldn't be a starter for us if he wasn't injured, but I think he would be right there next. He'd probably be 2 snaps less than our starters if he was healthy and playing right now. And maybe his presence will help, being that veteran to help, these guys get a little bit better. But right now we're probably just too young at receiver. And that sucks when you have, the Bengals with 3 young guys, well, 2 young guys that are, stars in this league already, and our young guys just aren't getting it done.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, I don't. Your receivers were putting up numbers last year.
Mm-hmm.
The offense looked a lot better last year than it does this year. I think
Yeah, in the first 4 games, but sure. Well, 3 games. First 3 games.
the
Sure.
I just I don't know about the coach. I don't know if it's the system, the coach, but and
It,
I know Russ is such an organizational guy, which is what
yeah,
makes him so good,
yeah.
with such a commodity. But
Such a
at some
likable
point,
guy, and you really want to see him do well. Man.
yeah, and he does things by the book,
Mm-hmm.
from what we can see from the outside looking in. But at some time, he's going to need to take over some play calling and start taking some shots of his own.
Yeah. If
And
he's not taking control right now, and this is how we look, he needs to do it. But if he's having a little bit more say in the offense, then maybe he. I want to know. I wish we can ask that question. Like, hey, who's doing more of the play calling right now? But I'm sure he'll give. Because again, he is that organizational guy. He's a great guy. He's a likable guy. He wants to be liked. So he won't say anything wrong about his coach. Even last night, he won't say anything wrong about the fans who are booing him in our offense all night. He said, I love this crowd. They're into the game. I love it. I love it. I'm like, they're not loving you right now. They're booing you, but hey, like he's the guy. He's going to stay positive. He's going to stay level headed. But the thing about that separates him and Aaron Rodgers, like you mentioned earlier, when Aaron Rodgers said, RELAX, relax, he actually went out there and balled on offense. Whereas Russ is saying, I love this, and you're not doing anything for us. So how are you loving, you know, 2 touchdowns in 3 games?
yeah, it definitely we need to see a kick in the right direction. Starting soon. Like we need to see a little bit of pop against the Raiders.
Mm,
They're going to be desperate. It's the only team, well, not the only team with a losing record. I see the Texans down here at 0-2-1.
yeah,
Uh, but I mean, whenever you're tied with the Texans for the worst, or you're going to be desperate for a win. The Raiders are going to be desperate for a win next week. They're actually favored by 2 at the moment. Take that with what you want, but from an outside fan perspective looking in, your offense has got to start rolling
yep.
and start now. So we'll move on from the Broncos and 49ers catastrophe of Sunday night and move on to a different catastrophe. Um, Bills lost 21-19 to the Dolphins yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen threw 63 passes yesterday, connected on 42 of them, 400 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was also their leading rusher, 8 carries and 47 yards.
Mm.
And their leading receiver was Devin Singletary, which I believe is a running back.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So honestly, I don't know how the Dolphins won this game.
Especially the butt punt.
I mean,
The butt
let's
punch.
just look at this. Bills
Motorized.
497 total yards of offense, Dolphins 212. Bills had 31 first
Bicycle.
downs, Dolphins had 15. Uh, Total time of possession. This is real kicker. 40 minutes and 40 seconds. The Bills had the football, and
Mm-hmm.
the Dolphins had it for 19 minutes and 20 seconds. That is not. There's no way the Bills should have lost that game. There's no way it should have been close.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what is Miami's defense that damn good, because if so, I need to start worrying about Thursday.
I
Um,
don't know if they're good because they gave up 495 yards of offense, but I don't
ish.
know. The offense just wasn't clicking like we've seen in the first two games for the Bills.
I mean, but was it like a bend, don't break kind of scenario?
Yeah, yeah, maybe.
Because
I like that. Yeah, I can see that very well being. Hey, we gave up a lot of yards right here. It's a long drive, but let's get it together right here. This is our stop. This is our stop. And they actually got him to third down 18 times, and the Bills got it 11 times. That's actually a good number for the Bills, but it
yeah,
just they weren't getting scores. They didn't put the ball in the end zone like they usually do.
yeah. So I don't know what to tell about that game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is true or not. Haven't seen it anywhere else. Josh Allen got X-rays on his hand
Mm-hmm.
after the game, which I
Tragic.
guess I would need those two after throwing 63 passes. I mean, we'll see what comes about that game. Tua, 13 of 18, 186 with a touchdown to River Craycraft.
Mm-hmm.
And Chase Edmonds carried the ball 6 times, 21 yards, 2 touchdowns. And I
One
mean,
scary concussion
yeah.
that Tua
Okay,
still came back and played.
so they're not even saying it's a concussion. There's an investigation going on. They're saying that he had a back injury from the beginning of the game,
Mm-hmm.
and that aggravated the back injury.
There's
So
no.
there's no way, dude. When I saw that he got put back in the game,
Mm-hmm.
that was like they're trying to kill the man.
Yeah. They will probably definitely um the concussion protocol trainers, athletic trainers will definitely probably get a suspension, something. The Dolphins will probably get a fine for allowing him to go back in the game. If you watch the video after he got hit, he's on the field, he's shaking his head. That's for one, why would you shake your head if your back hurts? Obviously, he got hit in the head. He stands up and stumbles backwards as he stands up. His offensive lineman's trying to hold him up. He like pushes the offensive lineman off of him a little bit. He's walking, and then his body just go limp and he falls. And it's like, if that's not a clear sign of concussion, then I don't know what is.
Unless he's got had some kind of back injury with a nerve problem, whereas they took out his legs. But I mean,
No,
he's sure looked fine after he came back in after going to the locker room. So I don't know. That one was
yeah.
once again. Sometimes you're gonna have to save these guys from themselves.
And the Dolphins failed to do that. They took a week 3 game way too serious. I know this may have playoff implications, but him getting hurt again, hit like that again in this game would have ruined your whole season instead of one game. You picked one game over the whole season for him. And Tua, I mean, I get it. Like you just said, competitors are going to compete, but for him to risk his career over one game against the Bills, that's a bad business decision, my friend. That is very bad. But he has a lot to live up to this year, and I get that. I probably played a factor in it too. He's like, man, I'm on the hot seat. Even though I just threw 6 touchdowns last week in a comeback win, they're still harping on how I had to make it a comeback win because the offense wasn't doing anything. So let me get back in this game and beat what's seen as the best team in NFL. And I don't think it was worth it by any means.
No, definitely not. So we'll move from one bad decision to another, and I guess our bad decision of the week was picking the Chiefs over the Colts. Um,
And if you could
I don't care.
see, if those listening can see the Excel sheet that we have, how I have written on there, LMAO Chiefs. Like, why are we even asking who's going to win this game? And I forgot what I said in the game. I think I said if the Colts somehow beat the Chiefs, I will not make any more picks for the rest of the year. And
Yeah,
dang it, I know I can't stick to that because it's part of the podcast, but I kind of want to stick to that. I don't want to make any more picks for the year. Colts beating the Chiefs.
I mean, on all in all, horrible day for the Chiefs. I do think there's some deep issues rooted in that
Mm.
team right now.
Yeah.
Um, Mahomes, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He was also their leading rusher. So we're now seeing a theme from the last 2 games with the guys that have been on top for the past few years. Um, they don't really have rushing attacks right now, and I think it's starting to hurt them. I mean, Mahomes didn't throw 60 passes in this game, but he's having to do a lot. There's a little dust up on the sideline with him and Enemy.
Hmm.
Um, but I mean, they went on the road and they lost. They lost by 3. They couldn't really do anything. I mean, they outgained the Colts. They had one more turnover. Penalties and every first downs were roughly the same. I just think they got outplayed by
Yeah.
a team that needed to win. The Colts should be
Yeah.
better than what their record showed, uh,
Definitely.
but still not shouldn't have been able to beat the Chiefs.
Yeah. I
Uh,
don't know if that says more. That game right there says more about the Chiefs than it does the Colts. But the game the Colts played before that against the Jaguars definitely says more about the Jaguars. And they say that because how they dismantled the Chargers this week.
yeah. So, uh, man, just Chiefs and Colts not a good week for
And
our
then,
easy.
yeah, Mahomes getting into it with his offensive coordinator was not a good look.
No. Did you see? We'll go talk about getting into with assistant coaches. Did you see the Jets player,
Quentin Williams, yeah.
I mean, that looked like it was about to. I mean, they looked like they were squaring up on the sidelines there,
I
and
think they
that's
were.
early in the game.
Yeah, they were ready.
Uh,
Man,
I
10
mean,
player, dude. When you have a passion for that game, and that offense, I mean that defensive line coach, and I mean he was a former player, I'm sure, and he probably has that fire going in him. And you really want to win this game, it's a potential win. It's a winnable game. I mean, yeah, heck yeah, I'm pretty sure that happens multiple times. But you got to have a guy that's disciplined enough to take the criticism from the coach. But who knows what else was said during that huddle? I mean, anything could have been said by that defensive line coach. So
um, so we'll see. Uh, let's um, let's see what the Chiefs are the rest of the year. I don't think they're going to be as high powered and decent. I don't think they're going to be like the Chiefs of old.
yeah,
So we'll see. I think they've come down a couple pegs in the AFC, which makes it easier for Denver. So Denver needs to get their shit together.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, we do.
so we'll move on to another AFC West team.
Mhm.
Chargers got beat in pretty bad by the Jaguars. Like you just said, the Jaguars went on the road, 38-10 win for the Jags. Trevor Lawrence threw 3 touchdowns. There's one on the ground by James Robinson. Um, all in all, the Jaguars look pretty good. It's amazing what a head coach that actually has a winning attitude and not a sleazeball like Urban Meyer can actually do to change the culture that quick. Um, the Jags did go out, spend a little bit of money this offseason, put some pieces
Mhm.
around them. But I'm excited to see where the Jaguars go with this.
Yeah,
Um, you know, I think I did pick the Chargers last week.
you did, man. That was a heck of a call. Heck of a call.
So I just, didn't know how much Herbert was going to be hurt. I mean, he did throw for almost 300, but yeah, he looks like he has no ground support. Their leading rusher had 22 yards.
Hmm.
Uh, so I think the Jags will be the favorite going forward to win that AFC South in my eyes.
Yeah.
They controlled the football 38 minutes, possessing the football, disciplined enough. They only had 2 penalties for 10 yards, had more first downs, didn't turn the ball over, outgained them by 101 yards. All in all, great day for Jacksonville. What do you think about Jacksonville going forward? They could be obviously a sneaky playoff team that we didn't think of at the beginning of the season. What are you thinking?
Um, Going forward, we'll see. Actually, we'll see this week because they play the NFC favorite in the Eagles. So we'll see what they do. They're a young team still, so hopefully they don't get too high on that win, and hopefully they're able to snap back and get ready and go to work this week. So we'll see what they do against Jalen Hurts.
Yep, that'll definitely be a game and whatnot. So from there, we'll move on. I think the Jags might be a little legit. We'll see what
Hmm.
happens. Like you said, they've got a great test coming up. So let's move on. We'll do a recap of our week 3 picks here.
Oh man,
Um,
brutal.
so
I'm
far,
getting.
not not horrible. I'll say it's not horrible. Um, I mean, we're both sitting almost at 500 for
Yeah.
the week. So, but I mean, you had like the Chiefs lose. That shouldn't have happened. The Bills lost, which could have happened, but
Hmm.
you know, we had a rough week. So we'll go down Steelers, Browns. I chose Browns. You get Steelers. I got the win there. Obviously, we know about the Chiefs. We both took the Ravens. I took the 49ers over the Broncos, which took a closer game than it should have been.
Hmm.
Uh,
A little uglier game.
judging judging by all the stats. Bears beat the Texans. We both had that. Then both of us 3-game losing streak. Took Raiders, Bills, Lions. They all lost. Bengals and Eagles won. We both had them. Saints lost. We both had them. They lost to the Panthers. Panthers finally got their first win. Um, and then I kind of had a few different picks there. I had Jaguars over Chargers, where you took the Chargers. I had Rams over Cardinals, and you took the Cardinals. Falcons over Seahawks. I had the Falcons, you had the Seahawks. So
Hmm.
kind of that was where our differences lied for the week, I think.
Yeah.
And then I had the Bucks. You took the Packers. I mean, that game was an absolute snooze fest.
Hmm.
I watched the last minute because it had fantasy implications, and Russell Gage scored me a touchdown in my other league. So, um, I mean, so that's where we're sitting right now. I'm sitting at 8-7. You're sitting at 6-9. Currently, I'm sitting at 17-30 overall. Could go 17-31. Like
Yeah.
we said earlier, we're recording this before Monday Night Football.
Hmm.
Uh, I could be 18-30 or 17-31. You had a 6-9 week so far. You're sitting at 20-27. Really respectable. But obviously, yeah, you could go either way with 21-27 or 20-28. So I picked a good week to get back at it.
I think it did.
Trying to get those records a little closer than what they were last week. But we'll see. We had a good, decent week. I'll take it for me a little bit. I think last week you were 500, and a little bit under that this week. But moving on to week 4, I got all these written out here for us. So let's roll with that. I'll start asking them all for you. I've got a Dolphins and Bengals. I'm gonna roll with the Bengals Thursday night, White Bengal. We'll see how Tua performs. What do you think?
I think this is a short week, and it's a bad time to have a short week when your quarterback just got a concussion, looked like a bad one. I got Cincy as well. They're at home as well, so I'm going Cincy.
Gotcha. We're in agreement there. We've got Vikings and Saints. I think I'm gonna roll with the Vikings. I don't really like the Saints
Yeah.
at the moment.
Mhm.
So, um, what are you thinking?
I'm going Vikings as well. Again, there's not. It's kind of hard to pick between these two teams. It's a coin flip, but again, Saints don't look too great, so I'm going Vikings.
So tied there. I took, starting out picking the same teams right now. As much as we bash Kirk Cousins, we're putting a lot of faith in him this week, which
Yeah,
probably means we're going to get screwed over. Browns and Falcons. Browns on the road. I think the Browns are going to handle business. They start getting up. They hand the ball to Nick Chubb. Helps me out in fantasy.
hmm.
Uh, I think the Browns look pretty good. I'm gonna roll with the Browns this week. What do you got?
Um, way the Browns performed last week on Thursday. Um, I think it's going to have me pick the Browns as well. The Falcons just don't have the offense, and the Browns defense is good enough to make sure they take care of business and give the ball back to their offense. So,
Yeah, just go Brownies as well.
yeah, don't worry. I'm sure we'll have some differences here soon.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there'll be some here soon. What we
May
got
not,
next?
may pick the same.
Yeah, which will be fine. We'll just stay that many games. I'll stay that many games back of you. Um, Commanders, Cowboys. I've got here. Um, I'm rolling with the Cowboys. I just don't. The Washington just doesn't do anything for me. I
Yeah.
think even not knowing what's going on tonight, Monday Night Football, I just think the Cowboys will take that one. What do you think?
Well, we'll see. Barring any injuries in the next 30 minutes and during this game, I got the Cowboys as well. Yeah, like you said, the Commanders just Wentz is not the guy. I know he did great in week one, but the man got me -5. It's my fault for playing him, but that's the only option I had. He got me -5 points in fantasy points this week. So yeah, I'm not going for the Commanders for the rest of the year. So go Dallas.
Go Cowboys. All right. So let's see. Next game on tap is Seattle versus Detroit. I'm going with the Lions. I just, I got that feeling about them. I know they lost this past week to the Vikings, but as a 2-point loss, I think they're playing still good football. Defense looks good. I'm rolling with the Lions. What do you think?
Going right there with you. I'm going Lions as well. I think Seattle's good only when they're at home, and Detroit's good when they are at home. So, got Seattle at Lions. I'm going Lions.
Gotcha. All right. Next one is Titans and Colts, AFC South matchup. I know Colts just had that big win. They finally got on the win column, so the Titans got a win. Um, I think I'm rolling with the Titans. No, I'm down here in Bowling Green now. I'm surrounded by these Titans fans down here.
Yeah,
Uh, so I'm gonna roll with the Titans and see how it plays out for this week.
I think the Colts are going to keep it rolling. They're at home again, so I got the Colts winning. It's good rivalry we got right there with Tennessee and Indianapolis. So I'm going with Colts for this one.
I got you. There you go. First different pick there.
Yeah, we got a lot of
Um,
rivals going on this week.
yeah. Next we got Bears and Giants. I'm going with the Giants. I don't. The Bears aren't anything. I'm not wasting breath on them.
Giants. I know I'm right next to the stadium, but I'm going Giants.
Giants, yeah. It is what it is.
Hmm.
Jags Eagles. I feel like it'd probably be a really good game. But I'm gonna go with the Eagles. They're playing out of their mind right now, and we'll see how it goes against Jacksonville, who's also been playing really well. What you got?
I'm right there with you. I think the Eagles will be too much for them. Jaguars, I think, like I mentioned before, they shouldn't get their too much hype around themselves after getting that win last week, but I think they will, and I think the Eagles will make them pay for that.
Gotcha. So next we are rolling with Jets and Steelers. I'm gonna go with Jets. Steelers aren't anything this year. Don't know why the Bengals lost to them, but
You
what do
know,
you?
you know, I really want to pick the Steelers. I really do. Because I really like Mike Tomlin, and he does not lose no matter who's at his quarterback. I'm gonna keep putting my faith in Tomlin. So I'm going Steelers.
All right, going with the Steelers. All right, next we got a pretty good game. Bills Ravens. Looks like we're both taking Lamar and the Ravens. Next Chargers and Texans. I'm just gonna roll with the Texans. I just don't. I think the Justin Herbert injury is probably a little too much for them to overcome. If they decide to sit him, maybe it'll be different. But at this moment, I'm going to take the Texans. What do you think?
I'm going with the Texans as well. Justin Herbert does not look like he's 100% healthy, ready to go, and that is their offense. Their defense is good. We could be very, very wrong here in taking the Texans, but I'll give Davis Mills some props here, and maybe he'll lead his offense to outscore those Chargers.
Yeah, I mean, Lovey Smith, coach there. I mean, I know not most people's favorite, but I mean, he's won some games over the years. So
Yeah.
uh, we'll definitely move on from there. Both took the Texans. I got Cardinals and Panthers. I'm gonna go with Baker and the Panthers. I just don't really like Kyler and the Cardinals at
Yeah.
all. I don't know how the Rams didn't do much more against them last week. I think Matt Stafford got me 10 total fantasy points. I don't understand it. But yeah, so who you got, Cardinals and Panthers?
I'm gonna pick this team for kind of like the same reason you just said you don't like Kyler. I really don't like Baker Mayfield that much. And I think the Cardinals are going to get it together and win. Playing at Carolina doesn't seem like it's that hard. I mean, it could be, but I really don't think Carolina is that great of a team. And I got the Cardinals kind of getting a bounce back win.
I gotcha. So next up, Patriots, Packers. Patriots took a loss. Mac Jones, high ankle sprain. Packers got the win on the road at Tampa. I'm rolling with the Cheeseheads up north. There's no competition. I think Belichick needs to retire at the end of this year because they look awful. Who are you rolling with?
Um, he is a legend. I will give Belichick that he is a legend, great coach. But yeah, it's kind of like you got to know when to hang him up. Patriots could do better, but I think the style of play is just not there. I want them to do well because of Devontae Parker. He did get a touchdown catch this past week, but I'm going with the Cheeseheads up north. Don't let my Bears community know that, but I'm going with the Packers.
They'll be all right. They're too busy shooting themselves in their own foot to care about you picking the Cheeseheads up north. They're trying to fight for their stadium to move out of downtown.
Yeah.
Moving on, Broncos Raiders, your game of the week.
Yes,
I think the
sir.
Raiders are going to be desperate. If they only got to score 12 points to win the damn game, I think they can do that. Um, we got to see something out of your Broncos team this week, or I don't know if I don't know when I'll be able to pick them throughout the rest of the year if they can't get it together against the 0-3 Las Vegas Raiders. Are you going to roll with the Broncos? You going to pick against them? What do
You
you got?
know, yeah. Something about that Russell Wilson, man. I'm ready to take, I'm ready to ride with the Broncos still. That's my team, that's my squad. But I'm definitely going to need the key to this game. Russell Wilson needs to have 2 touchdowns. I know you can say that about any game for your quarterback, but literally, he needs to have 2 touchdowns for us to win because our defense will hold the Raiders to 13 points or less. Russell give me 2 touchdowns, and McManus hit the extra points. We'll go home 14-13.
Okay. Well, hopefully we see it for you. Um, but hopefully he doesn't just ride on out of Broncos country with a bag and playing that crappy. So, Chiefs and Bucks, honestly, Sunday night game of the week
Mm-hmm.
could be flexed into earlier with the hurricane coming through. We don't
Yeah.
know yet about that. Um, all in all, it doesn't look like that good of a game
Mm-mm.
anymore.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna go with the Bucks because they're at home.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got?
I can see the Chiefs pulling this out, bounce back game, making it a high powered offense, and they could show like, hey, no, we're still dominant. But I think Tom Brady has the Chiefs number, and I think he will, somehow find a way to do better than the field goal game that we've seen this past week with the Packers. So I'm going Tampa Bay.
Yeah. All right, so brings us to Monday night game of the week: Rams, Niners. Both didn't really have that good of a showing. I know the Rams put up 20 something points, but honestly, it just the Rams don't look like last year's Rams.
Mm,
49ers are. It looks like they're going to have to adjust with Jimmy G back there. Not like they should have to because Trey played 1.4 games, uh, 1 game and a quarter. So I'm going to roll with the Rams just because, honestly, just because I don't I don't really have much behind that one other than I don't trust the Niners
yeah,
and
you
Jimmy
don't really
G.
need much else reason.
There's not much else. But who are you going?
I'll go just keep it going. I'll go 49ers. I think their offense is really good. As just Denver's defense is better. But I don't see Samuel having a stellar game, which I want him to because he's on my fantasy. But I think the way that the Rams cornerback is playing right now, he's going to lock in on him. But I think the 49ers will still find a way. They're at home and they'll find a way.
All right, so there are week four. Um, there's our week four game picks, everyone. I say right now, week three will be finalized here in a little bit. I know Monday Night Football just kicked off with Cowboys and Giants. The highly anticipated first matchup of the year between Tyrone and myself in fantasy football. Pretty much all locked up for Tyrone,
Yeah,
barring some
yeah, yeah.
miracle Sterling Shepard 50-point fantasy football outing. Uh, Out of my flex spot. So we'll go ahead and give it up. Tyrone with the victory in week three of fantasy. So good matchup there.
Yes, it was. It was.
Lamar and Devontae Smith carried you there.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, didn't really have much else for me to throw up there. It would have made it close if I put in Russell Gage, but at the same time, yeah, it still wouldn't have been enough for me to win. I'm
And with
having
CD
quarterback
Lamb
issues.
playing, yeah, CD Lamb playing right now, he already has 2.5 for me. So it was a good matchup. I think you would have beat two, three, you would beat five other people that are playing in our league right now. But yeah, it was a good matchup. It was a rough one for you.
It is good. We'll
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 play
roll
again.
with it.
Yeah,
I believe we'll
meet
play
again.
again. Let's see.
Mhm.
I know we will play again,
Yeah.
hopefully, before the season's over. So but all in all, everyone, thanks for listening. Check out College Football Podcast as well. I know we've got those rolling. This was episode 14 in total of T&J put together. We appreciate all you listening, all your support, your likes, comments, share with everyone, listen to it while you work out, listen to it when you're driving in your car on the way to work. Definitely, chime in with us, comment, get involved. We'd love to have anybody and everybody on if they want to come on. Um, so I just want to say thank you, and we'll be back next week with a couple more recaps.
Yes, sir. Thank you again. Like Drizzy said, thanks for listening. We do appreciate it. We do this, keep the friendship alive. Well, always be alive, but keep the friendship going with our love of sports. And we love just putting it out there for you all to listen. So thank you.
Yep. Thanks to everybody. That will wrap up this episode of T&J Sports, and we will be back on next week. If you have anything you want us to talk about, let us know.
Yeah,
Drizzy's
yeah.
out.
Tstalls out.